Hey everybody, welcome to Who Gives a Shit, the podcast that asks the most important question. Who gives a shit? CJ, what's going on with you, man?
Not much, buddy. We just did a great episode with Carl, the movie podcast.
We got a crossover episode. It's up on our Patreon. So, by all means, step by Carl's Patreon, our Patreon, check out the episode.
We made fun of Larry and also Stuttering John, who, because of you great people, we now make more money than Stuttering John. And we're like one donation away from $200. So we're almost
we're close. We are so close to starting our actually extra monthly bonus episode, which is kind of a quasi community driven, like rapid fire thing. There's a lot of funny people around us, and it just feels like a damn shame that we don't get to capitalize on them. So that's the goal, is to get that done.
And it's not comedy communism like Sarah Silverman. These people we know are actually funny. I promise you.
Yeah, people like Rabbit, that like he's one of them. Like you'll see. Also, CJ, I decided to buy myself a Christmas present. Like I got a really great Christmas present this year.
What do you get, man?
I'm getting a Precision 6466. That's a turbocharger. So I got my GTR back, and immediately I got the bug and just sent it right back in. The thing had been gone for a fucking year. Almost. So like I've been able to stack up, and I was able to basically take the next step. So I'm basically going to be maxing out the power that car's transmission can handle.
That's awesome, man.
Dude, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I got a wheelchair that goes 5 miles per hour. It's got about 1 horsepower, and I'm pretty proud of that.
How many Turks you got in there? Wait, hey, what'd you get for Christmas?
I got a lot of money to go gambling.
Oh, hell yeah.
And my mother is in Honduras right now, which I don't know if you know, but they produce like 1/3 of the cigars that they sell in America. So she got me a box of cigars fresh from the factory. So I'm looking forward to those.
That's pretty cool. Now, I did decide to do something easy this year. Everyone I know that's hard to shop for, I just bought them some mint body wash. I'm like, here you go. Smell like mint. Like, stop being impossible to shop for. Maybe give me some hints. Let me know a little something. Holy shit.
Well, one of the great things, probably the only great thing about this COVID thing, is that my gathering got canceled this year. Which is why I was able to go to the casino, and I didn't have to pretend like my aunt's new political cause of the year was interesting, and she didn't go on and on about how George Bush did 9/11 and all rich people are bad, and we gotta tax the rich and buy Ben & Jerry's and vote for Bernie Sanders. So I didn't have to deal with any of that this year.
Nice. It was really relaxing for me. I just, it's just being around my family, not like really talking to, like I'm just hanging out. Like my nephew's really cool. And so, yeah, still didn't eat turkey, man. Fuck turkey. They kept on trying to hawk this shit on me too. I didn't want it. Like someone made like Mediterranean stuff so that you could get like those weird matzo balls or whatever the fuck. Like a very odd choice for Christmas food.
You know what really surprised me is when I was at Motor City, I had one of the best cheeseburgers I ever had. And it wasn't overpriced at all. It was $11 for a double and some french fries, and it was really fucking good, man. So, if you're in Detroit, Motor City gambling sucks, but what you do is you go there for the food, and then you go to MGM to gamble. That's the best way to do
it. So, we got a topic that we're going to be talking about but we're not doing it right now because the Jack Murphy situation is just too damn funny. And I gotta gather my thoughts about this because this dude is such a weird hypocrite, man. And
me too, Adam. I don't have the gorilla mindset, so I'm not aware how eating cum out of your wife's pussy can make you the ultimate alpha male. So I gotta study that a little more.
It definitely doesn't. But, you know, I'm in sort of the alternative lifestyle scene. Like, I don't know anybody that's just straight up into cucking, but it's around. Like, people advertise that they want to do this shit on a fairly regular basis. And I haven't heard anyone try to say that this is like peak manliness with any seriousness. Like, it's strange. So, you know, I'm in a polyamorous relationship. So, you know, there's other dudes that fuck my girlfriend, but I don't care. Like, I'm definitely not sucking the cum out of her pussy. That's for fucking sure. So I'm going to try to condense all my thoughts about this guy and actually give him a fair shake. Although it's probably still not going to be very charitable.
It's called the Jack Murphy method, Adam. He's selling a masterclass on it. If enough black men bang your wife, Donald Trump will come back and save the planet. It's gonna happen, man. Don't be a hater.
Man, I don't know. The fallout has been tremendous, and it's hilarious. And it just seems like it won't stop. Like, we're recording this a little bit late this week, and so this thing has still been sizzling for like what, 4 days longer?
Yeah, it's heightening to a whole new level because from Jack Murphy's team, there's talk of him wanting to sue the quartering and file a report. When all the guy did was go to the guy's Pornhub page and say, "Hey, this alpha male guru that all you fucking weirdos worship, he's a massive fag," it turns out.
Man, I was really pissed that people kept on blowing up every fucking board that I'm in with Jack Murphy with a dildo in his ass, dude. That really was pissing me off. I'm tired of seeing this shit. But then,
it sounds pretty trad and based to me, Adam. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, God. But let's get into the show proper, CJ. So, what do you got for us this week, man?
I have the first article for you, the Omicron variant and its symptoms. God damn it, I'm pulling the stuttering gun. But guess who that's from, Adam?
Oh, say the line one more time. The new Omicron variant and its symptoms?
New Omicron variant and its symptoms.
I am going to say NBC.
This is actually from CDC.org.
Oh.
So it's very credible. Would you like to hear about the new COVID drop, Adam?
Oh, the symptoms? I'm sure they're devastating. So yes, I'd need to know this.
Oh, dude, it starts out scary, Adam. Are you ready for this? Sneezing. You can sneeze.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty typical.
And a runny nose, and God forbid your throat hurts. Then you're really fucked. Then you just have to close down all the businesses in the tri-state area because your throat hurts.
That is fucking weird. So did they list like? Is there any symptom that's new?
It's just but it's what's crazy about it. Why I brought this in is because I want to know why you people give a shit still. Because it's like it's everyday shit. Adam, have you ever been tired?
Yeah.
Well, you probably have the Omicron COVID variant. Congratulations.
That's possible. I mean, I don't think so, but shit, dude. On my way home, the number of there's this mobile COVID testing place that they put in the parking lot of a Carnicia, and there was like 60 cars lined up on this thing all the way down the road. They turned one of my roads into a 1-lane road, man. I was so fucking pissed. And it's been like this all week.
Another symptom is restlessness. So you could also need sleep, but not sleep. So that basically means you could be whoever and have it, Adam. It's so broad that everybody has COVID. Just how broad these symptoms are. Everyone has coughed and sneezed at some point in time, and there are no allergies anymore. Everything in the Omicron COVID variant, allergies don't exist. So if you think you're sneezing because of pollen, that's just because you're a bigot and you don't believe in science.
So I did something just for shits and giggles, just to kind of see where we're at. I just Googled Omicron deaths. I want to know how many people have died from this variant. And I have scrolled through the whole first page and I'm not seeing a number. So if you can't just Google something and they spit a number at you, it must not be a flattering number for their narrative and what is trying to get pushed. People are probably concerned trolling again.
Honestly, I think the people who give a shit are the people like my grandmother, and they fall for the black man with a white voice in a suit. That they fall for that. If you can get a black man with the Dave Chappelle white voice in a suit to say things, old people will follow it, no matter how racist they are. They don't even have to like black people. If they see a black man in a suit and glasses and a white Dave Chappelle voice, they will do whatever that person says. They have one for every network. They have Don Lennon, Van Jones. They're all the same. They're basically irreplaceable. And I think the solution here is we just have the white black man in the suit just say, you need to drive your car off a bridge, and that is a sure way to not get COVID. I think that's how we deal with this issue, Adam, because these people are so fucking dumb that they're panicking and shutting down society over a sneeze. So I don't know what else to do.
I don't know either. It's strange hearing about this because, again, I'm in Texas, and so nobody gives a shit around here. That business is continuing on as usual. There's no mandates. In fact, Governor Wheelchair, one of the best things he did was sign an anti-mandate. He's just like, don't tell people what to do. And I agree with that sentiment. You have more risk, but you got more freedom. I like freedom. I think it's great.
Well, at least Governor Wheelchair stands for something, because Governor Whitmer sure does not. We're back to masked again in like public corporate buildings. Now, if you go to like a hole-in-the-wall bar, they don't give a shit. But if you go to like a chain strip club or a casino, they're just on you about wearing them all the time, and it's absolutely insane, man. I mean, this shit has been going on for literally 2 years, and there's always gonna be a COVID drop when everybody starts complaining about when do we get our freedom. They're gonna come out with a new one, and people are gonna be lined up at the testing center like a new pair of Jordans just came out, and it's just all so fucking stupid, man.
Wow. It is fucking stupid. I still can't find how many people have died from Omicron, and I've revised it a little bit. Now they'll tell you how many people got it. They're like, there are 52,280,854 confirmed cases. Are you fucking kidding me? Now that's the whole, like, everything, but they love to throw that right at the top when I'm specifically looking for Omicron. Like, what? This is, well, okay. the question is, CJ, when are people going to give a shit? Like, when are they going to try to have some mask mandate and everybody finally says no?
I don't think ever. I think the people that believe the media blindly, they're just always gonna do so. And your only hope is you live somewhere like Texas, where you're at, where there's just not a lot of those people.
Well, I guess people will vote with their moving van if they got to. Cause
yeah, get the fuck out of these cities, man, because they're all going to hell. And Detroit's never looked worse. Detroit was a better place to be when all the buildings were on fire and there were crackheads and squatters everywhere.
So what is it now? Just a bunch of people walking around with masks on?
Yeah, it's just a weird gentrified hell where everything in the corporate media conglomerate and we're all wearing masks like it's a fucking Black Mirror episode.
Now, I do feel bad for all the waiters and everything here because they make them wear masks. But that's funny. Like, in every restaurant, there's signs saying, like, mask required. Literally nobody is wearing that. Maybe 1 in 10. Maybe. Every once in a while, there's someone that looks like they're just, a little bit neurotic, a little bit on the edge, and, they're just a little bit always scared. So, yeah, masky time.
By the way, government, I'm not going to stop gambling because you made the casinos gay. You know what's going to happen? And I'm just going to go to the underground games, and you're not going to get your 10% tax rake money. So fuck you. You did that to yourself.
Yeah, they really need that money, CJ. They spend it so wisely to make everything stay going.
Well, it's their fault they're not getting it, Adam. They're the one that put all these mask mandates in place. It was insane, dude. The fucking cooks that are like steaming oysters and clams and shit, and there's smoke everywhere. They gotta wear a mask and breathe all that smoke in. I don't know how the fuck they were even standing up afterwards, dude.
Wow. Man.
It's all just retarded. And, yeah, if you believe that any of this is real, just go ahead and drive off a bridge so we can continue life.
Well, talking about fun government officials misappropriating money, let's get into my topic. And let's play Guess the Outlet. This is a pretty decent one. Okay. Chicago mayor who pushed $80 million defund of cops now pleads for feds to save city. Who do you think said that?
That sounds like something the New York Post would write.
On the money. Yeah, it's the New York Post.
Oh, yes. They love to talk shit about Chicago and their goldfish mayor. So, what's going on in Chicago?
So, the mayor of Chicago was really big on the defund the police thing and was very vocal about it. Now, what's funny is that she just proposed doing it. I don't think she actually did. And but what's great about this is just the irony of this whole thing, because you take a look at this chick and you can tell that there's just not much going on. She looks like Beetlejuice and E.T. had a kid.
She looks like Miles Davis at the worst point of his cocaine addiction.
She looks like Gollum was left in an oven and then lightly crisped. So she's asking the feds, being just because there's a crime wave going on in Chicago, in case you didn't know. I think it's been going for a while, but it's particularly bad right now. So Mayor Lightfoot is just begging the feds, send in the feds, and they don't.
Well,
they don't
wait,
care,
I thought all cops were bastards, Adam.
They are. And it's so fucking stupid, too. Do you remember when there was a riot outside of a federal courthouse in Washington State? And people were so pissed that feds were getting sent down there and vanning people. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I briefly remember that.
because you can't just be like, well, we don't have enough cops, so if you work for the FBI, can you just become deputized and just start arresting people? It doesn't work like that. That's very unconstitutional too, because the states come first when it comes to local enforcement governance. Like the feds don't, that's not their job. They like protect ports and borders. They don't do normal policey shit and try to stop people from shooting each other on the street. That's not what they do.
Yeah, I'm really shocked that her parade of black guys and cowboy hats didn't stop defunding the police department, Adam. I really thought that one would work.
She said she wanted to put the money into social programs, which is fine. The messaging on this shit is just so bad. When they say defund the police, no one likes the sound of that. That like very few people think that there should be no cops. I think it'd be a lot more effective to say repurpose the police, because there's so many things that you just like. Why are there so many cops on the road constantly trying to find a way to violate your Fourth Amendment rights? They just want to pull you over and search your shit. It's very annoying. That doesn't stop a lot of like important crime that I think that people care about. Now, I do think you should be on the patrol and be close in case someone calls and there's like a violent crime that needs to be handled. Sure.
But Adam, important crimes are hard, and it's boring to do paperwork. I just want to pull someone over for going 2 miles over the speed limit. That's what being a cop is really about.
Yeah, and turning on your lights to go blow through a red light.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of these criminals that slightly go over the speed limit, Adam. They can't keep getting away with it. It's evil.
Yeah. It's causing huge, huge problems. And there are a lot of people that die from it, but going fast is fun. Chicago has their murders went up 5% this year. And oddly enough, that's really not that remarkable. It did go up more than most other places, but everywhere crime is going up. Not a shitload, but enough to be noticeable. So, and that is a lot of fucking killings, dude. That's a fucking death a day. That's 2 deaths a day, sorry.
It's more than the fucking Omicron variant that everyone's worried about.
Oh, dude, I didn't know that in 1970 they had almost 1,000 killings in that city that year. That's crazy. And that's like fucking murder. Like
yeah,
that's a lot
of a rough place.
Huh.
But I guess we gotta get rid of the guys with guns so other guys with guns can shoot people more easily.
Lightfoot said that Chicago is awash in guns. What the fuck does that mean? Like, I know that means that there's a lot of guns everywhere, but awash, like, are all the pores of the Chicago sponge permeated with gun water? Like, what the fuck is she talking about?
Listen, she just heard it on Wait, Don't Tell Me, and she thought it would be really cool to use the new word that she learned. So she said wash.
Oh, no, she did tell judges to stop just releasing people. And there's really bad optics about that, because there's plenty of people that, I don't know how this revolving door shit happens. You hear of these fringe cases where someone's been locked up like 4 times in a row, gets out, on the 4th time he goes and kills somebody. But I never saw anything like that. It's such a fringe case. But I mean, like her just being like, oh, keep everyone locked up, don't let them out. I don't think she's being very aware of Omicron right now, and there's super spreader events called jail, and you should just cut everybody loose.
Yeah, not to mention it's pretty anti-black of you to lock up all those people, lady.
Yeah, it really is. But, I mean, that's really all I gotta say about Mayor Lightfoot. So, let's get into the voicemail segment. So, if you want to leave us a voicemail, please do. Give us a call at 281-747-6015 and tell us who gives a shit, or what you give a shit about or don't give a shit about. So, anyways, voicemails.
Hi guys, this is Charlie.
Having my mouth and anus aggressively penetrated.
Okay, with voicemails. So we got a voicemail this week. I fucked up queuing things up last week, and so here it is now.
Hey guys, Merlo Williams again. Adam, you exactly demonstrate my point when you say, yeah, Lars Ulrich kind of sucks, and that's why I hate Metallica. That is why they fit the bill. Say, for example, another good example of a band that was never cool, we were lied to, and also stands the test of time is Green Day, because Green Day got so shitty and lefty and woke and all that sort of shit. But everybody fucking loves Dookie. That's a good album. I mean, I got into them with American Idiot, but I went back and listened to their older shit, and I'm like, oh, it's objectively better. But yeah, Green Day fucking sucks, but there are still timeless classics that Green Day produced. So, yeah, they both kind of fit the bill, but they also kind of suck, and that's kind of how it works out. But that's the perfect example of why Metallica is both and why Green Day is both.
Huh.
Yeah.
Man, what other... Now, I'll tell you what I do like is things that are objectively terrible but actually good. Have you ever listened to the best worst rock song ever made, The Final Countdown?
By Europe, yeah.
Dude, I love that song.
Dude, that song sucks. It's good. I get exactly what you're saying. That song sucks so hard it gets stuck in my head.
Yeah, so Europe is the opposite of Metallica. Because Metallica, they had some songs that actually sound pretty decent, but they suck so much that they were never good, we were lied to, but they still withstand the test of time. And Europe was never made to withstand the test of time. They wanted to just cash in, and they made a fucking shitty song that was so bad that it wrapped around the horizon and Ouroboros itself to become like a timeless classic.
Yeah, man. Styx is another band that's like that.
Yeah. Rat's kind of like that too. Round and round. But yeah, that was a good topic, Merlo Williams. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Merlo, you always deliver on-point voicemails. So thanks for that, buddy.
So let's get out of the voicemails. And CJ, what's the last topic you got for us this week?
I have a topic. I'm not going to do Guess the Outlet because this is just some true crime blog post, and you're never going to guess what it is because like 4 people read it. Toddler still missing in San Antonio. So there's just a little girl that's been missing in San Antonio. I'm pretty sure you have her in your basement, Adam. So if you want
I'm in Houston. There are no basements in Houston.
Well, Adam, you're queer. Maybe Joe Rogan had her. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
But these are women. The reason I'm bringing this in is because I love to make fun of wine moms who just love true crime, and they feel as if reading the true crime post and listening to all this true crime podcast bullshit actually helps the cops find the girl. And it's just hilarious to me. I'm contributing.
I was real curious about this because you'd given me the topic and I'm like, I don't know if this is that funny.
It is funny. It is
so funny. Okay. So these true crime moms are like trying to crack the case and find this Afghan girl that went missing.
Yeah, they're basically playing alcoholic internet detective. And there was one incident where a woman filed a police report and she gave them information based on a true crime podcast she heard. And it wasn't even the same girl that went missing. She was just like, well, I listened to this one podcast, and there was this other little girl missing. Her name was Emma, and they found her this way. So you guys should do that.
Wow. Way to tell the cops how to do their job, lady. They love it when you do that.
Yeah, you know you're a Karen when you tell the cops how to do their job. That is the ultimate Karen status in
This
this
chick
world.
sounds fucking crazy. Like, if she's like around at something, she's like the kind of chick that when the cops show up, she just has her gun in her hand. She just starts waving it around. She's like, "It's okay. I got it handled."
It's all right. It's all right. I've seen NCIS. I know what I'm doing here. I've watched Special Victims Unit many times. But yeah, that's basically what these girls are doing and LARPing as internet detectives.
There's another aspect that I thought you might talk about in this because it's a Muslim girl that went missing. She was from Afghanistan, and there was a reward for her, for finding her. And they kept on, all these mosques kept on adding more money to the pot. So like one of these mosques, you throw in $1,000, and then another mosque was like, well, we're going to throw in $2,000. And then the other mosque was like, well, we actually decided we're going to put in 3. There's like this weird virtue signaling bidding war on who's going to hypothetically pay the most money to find this dead girl.
Well, if anybody knows how to bid on children, it's the Muslims, Adam.
Oh,
They're very good at it.
Oh shit. Yeah. Dashi. Fuck.
But really, no one, I don't even think they give a shit about it. They give a shit about it currently. They're putting all their effort into it. But eventually there's going to be another little girl that gets lost that they gravitate towards. And they're just going to be in post-hangover, surrounded by cats in tacky sweaters, just looking to do something with their life. And I think it's hilarious that they think any of this will help. And really, who does give a shit about a girl getting lost? I got lost in the casino when I went. Where the fuck is my search party? Nothing is labeled in there, and the slot machines are too bright for me to concentrate on where I am.
Why do they give a shit about this? She's brown.
Yeah, though I'm sure because it's a slow year for missing white girls.
She's not white. That chick is fucking like cappuccino colored, man. She's from Afghanistan.
I know. And as soon as the white girl comes out, they'll shift their focus to that. They already had Gabby this year, so they mostly blew their load on that. But
True. And on top of that, they're going to move on to the next thing, literally the next day. They pass out drunk from their box wine, wake up the next day, and then do what the fuck ever while listening to their next true crime podcast. And now they're off to tell cops about how to do some forensic analysis for bite marks or something. Like, what? I don't understand the busybody aspect of a true crime podcast. It's very strange.
Yeah. It's almost like white women need hobbies and they need to shut the fuck up every once in a while.
Oh. Some of these true crime podcasts are fucking atrocious. Those are the hardest ones to get through on Who Are These Podcasts, which you can watch a bonus episode on patreon.com/WGA Shitshow. So, man, I don't know why the mosque, why the concern. And I was really shocked at you, CJ. So, well, I mean, I guess turned it around. We do get to dunk on white women. That's one of our favorite things to do.
Yeah, it sure is. I thought the Karen meme was dead, Adam, and this story definitely rejuvenated it. Because calling a cop to complain about how they're doing a job wrong because you listen to a podcast, that is a new level of Karen that has never been reached before.
Well, we know who gives a shit about this one. Karens listen to true crime podcasts. But
yeah, and you know what? I'm blaming true crime when this little girl going missing.
Oh, you think so?
If you have a true crime podcast, it's your fault that this Muslim girl is gone, and you should feel bad.
You got blood on your hands.
But yeah, that's my topic.
Well,
True
let's
Crime
get out
podcast.
of talking about missing girls and into my big one. This is my big one. Like, I've been thinking about this for a little bit, and this is from Screen Rant. Dungeons and Dragons: Wizards of the Coast removes problematic lore. What do you think that means, CJ?
Oh, it's probably some fucked up leftist saying that a race of orcs looks like black people because they themselves are subconsciously racist.
That is old news. That shit
There's a
happened like
new one.
years ago. So they decided to take the orc thing and just expand it to everything. They removed anything that has to do with any type of racial supremacy. So with how they remove the lore, you can't play a fucking elf in this game anymore. The whole point of being an elf is to be someone that's kind of androgynous, sort of foppish, that thinks that elves are the best thing ever. And they removed all that shit. And they did it to beholders too, because beholders are like floating balls that have a bunch of eyes on stalks that shoot like magical beams. They got a huge amount of teeth and they just float around. They're a real problem. But they are aberrations. They're just monsters. And they're intelligent. They can talk, but they are racial supremacists, but they're also incredibly jealous and think that they themselves are the best. So they don't mess with other beholders. Like, it's a huge drawback to them. And they removed all that shit. So what's to stop like a whole fucking conclave of beholders be impossible to deal with for like anybody?
Man, out of all things that they bring politics and race into, I never thought Dungeons and Dragons would be one.
Yeah, and they even did some weird shit with mind flayers. Mind flayers are like the squid people. They have like tentacles on their face that kind of look Cthulhu-like. They decided to change their lore so that they don't have a hive mind anymore. All the illithids have their own individual motivations now, which is strange and odd. Like,
Yeah, Adam, as you're talking about this, I don't even give a shit. So who does in this story?
okay, I do. I give a shit because this is, I've talked about this before about wanting to gatekeep and stop lame ass people from being out. And this is something that's been getting talked about in the Dick Show, where they're like, well, these new books, they're not made for you. Just use the old ones. And I'm like, nah, that's a cop out. They're making this shit so that anybody can do it. There's almost like no math. Every single character is almost the same because there's very little things to differentiate all the classes. And the system is just lame. It's just fucking lame. And they keep on cutting out lore that's been in Dungeons and Dragons forever. They removed the good evil alignment chart. So you can't just say that like a group, like the whole group of monsters is evil anymore.
Well, what are they? Are they nice monsters? Do they bake cookies and pies on windowsills? Why can't they be evil?
I do not know. And it fucks up the game because one of the things that makes Dungeons and Dragons so easy to keep flowing is that there's literal evil out there. There's things that everybody wants gone and everybody will be happy if you kill it. So there you go. And so by removing that, it makes it so that you can no longer be a murder hobo. And a murder hobo is like these adventurers. You know, you've seen them in shows and everything like that. But think about this. These guys that have like all these magic swords and are fucking awesome, they don't have a house. They're not like hanging out. They just kind of like wander the land, murdering everything that they come across. And that's what D&D can be to a certain extent, because because of the good evil thing, it's very easy to justify what you're doing. And you're not sitting there having to open up a dialogue with a gnoll to see if they're worth killing or not.
Yeah, like imagine Elliot Rodger if he didn't have the good versus evil conviction. He would just be killing random people at him.
Now, thankfully, they removed all the racial superiority stuff, like anything where some group thinks their race is better. They removed all that, but thankfully they didn't interject more BS politics because they could. I thought about it. I'm like, oh shit. What if they remove the belt of gender change? What if they did? There's some weird polymorph shit that I could see them talking about. And also one thing they removed any reference to slavery in Dungeons and Dragons. So in all these books, slavery does not exist anymore. There are no slaves.
The orcs have been enslaved for 400 years, and they're not going to take it anymore, Adam.
No, they're not. And the Githyanki been enslaved for thousands of years. It's actually integral to their lore. They're like, well, how about fuck that? Get fucked, nerd.
I don't care about nerd shit, but I do feel bad for the nerds because it sucks to be a nerd as is already. And they're taking everything from you guys. You guys used to be like a weird subgroup that would read comics. And now you got like normie motherfuckers with wives and children fangirling over the new Thor that came out. Like, the way they do all this shit nowadays, you regular nerds can't have anything anymore. And I do feel for you guys in that regard.
It is slowly getting whittled away more and more and more. The comic books are gone. That shit is game over. I saw a funny thing where the manga Demon Slayer, just that manga, Demon Slayer, has sold more copies than the entire United States comic book industry. So they're getting blown the fuck out. Nobody wants to read any of this shit. It got infiltrated by fucking chumps, and that's what I'm worried about. Because I know it's going to happen. Like, the rules are so simple. You're going to get your gamer girl in there that barely knows how to do math. That's just there because her boyfriend's there. That doesn't care about the game at all. That just wants to sit there on her phone. And these tables are going to start filling up with people like this. Dumbasses that can barely add. People that don't even understand what roleplay is and how to tell a story. And now all of a sudden you got a watered down pool where if I want to find someone cool to play a game with, now I have to do extra legwork. And if you're making me work, I care. So yes, I give a shit about this. I really wish the Wizards of the Coast would just fucking stop with their woke bullshit and stop fucking with magic cards, stop fucking with the lore of D&D, just leave it alone. And just keep on updating
I fear, I've said this before on the podcast, but I fear the day that a female poker player is actually any good because I just know that's going to ruin the game for me. Anytime a hot chick gets into anything, it's just swarms of hot chicks. And then there's a second level of the ugly chick who is friends with the hot chick that would come to the poker game. And they don't know anything about the game, and they would probably take forever to act, and they would talk in the middle of hands and cry at the table when they lose. So I do understand why the nerds are mad, because I have a hobby that at one time was, gatekeeped off in a way. It was gated off to where only the cool people could get into these games. I mean, for some of the underground games, you have to be on the text message list to even get in. And now I see dudes just bringing their girlfriends, and it's ruining the fucking game. Because it's taken 3 minutes for the dopey broads to make a decision, and they just lose the pot anyway, because they can't do probability.
Oh, dude. So, have you got a chick to ugly cry, and then, like, picked up all the, like, poker chips and, like, rubbed them on your body or something like that, and be like, yeah, bitch, take that.
Luckily, I never played with a woman. I play with a lesbian, but I really don't consider her to be a woman. Because she's like macho lesbian. Like I drive a truck and wear cowboy boots. She's one of those.
Drive a Subaru Forester.
Yeah, I never played poker with a hot chick. But I fear the day that happens. The last thing I want is hot women at the table, because it's gonna ruin the fucking hobby.
So back to the Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons. The Wizards of the Coast knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And they've kind of had subtle nods here and there that, yeah, they know they're being fucking cocksuckers. There's a setting that came out where there's this fairy carnival. And to get in, you got to get past a gate. And the gate is guarded by a clown named Thaco. And what Thaco is acronym to hit armor class 0. This is AD&D, like shit from like the 70s and 80s, like old school shit. And I barely played AD&D. I played a little bit, but the original Baldur's Gate is how I got my feet wet with AD&D. But the sheer fact that they have Thaco the Clown as a gatekeeper is them trying to say that these people that don't want chumps in their fucking game are clowns. So fuck you. Eat a dick.
I feel like you should let the nerds have their thing. Some of these people are never even gonna go near a pussy. You gotta let them have their game, fantasy, escape world, or they're just gonna crack.
Yeah, or one thing that you could do, why not just have Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition and then bring back AD&D? Bring back advanced, like make an advanced 5th edition or some shit like that. That's a little bit more crunchy, gives you a little bit more freedom, a little more options to, you know, build your character the way that you want to, and leave all the adult stuff in there. Like make it a game for mature people, because it is a game for mature people.
You can have your gay rainbow marketed D&D. You can call it Dildos and Drag Queens. And then you can have the nerds do their regular Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I think that's the solution for everybody.
That would be nice. But I don't know what's with these corporations constantly wanting to do this shit. Like, I don't understand the motivation, because I can't see anybody that decided that they weren't going to play Dungeons and Dragons because beholders were racial supremacists.
I'll tell you what it is, Adam, because I go to marketing classes, so I know a little bit about this. The people at the top of the chain that control marketing for Dungeons and Dragons are most likely retarded boomers, and they believe that every millennial is a snowflake addicted to their phone that gets offended by everything. Because
eating avocado toast.
That's what Ben Shapiro tells them every morning. So that's what they believe. So in order to get the newer kids, like the younger kids that are playing Pokemon Go and shit, into D&D, they think they have to interject all this liberal politics in there, because that's how they see us as a generation.
But this isn't even liberal politics. They're just removing instances of slavery and people thinking that their race is awesome. And this isn't like, you know, white-skinned race. We're talking about like floating monster balls and squid people and tiny little hobbits equivalent. Like, it's not even close. It's not comparable. Like and also racism is a part of Dungeons and Dragons. You saw it in Lord of the Rings, Gimli and fuck, why am I blanking on Legolas's name? They fucking hated each other. They were constantly like giving each other shit back and forth, even though they were friends. Is because they're obligated to uphold this like weird racial standoff thing. It's a trope, and it's fine. It's fun. Like I played D&D where I played a elven cleric that was a racial supremacist. I would just go around everywhere going elf power. I played a human supremacist that's going human power, like yelling at elves for having their big ears, listening to all my air. Like, it was a great bit to rip off a Chappelle. Like, it's you can have fun and have it be funny. You don't need to freaking nuke it out of the book.
Well, I'm sorry they're ruining your hobby, buddy. That definitely sucks.
They most definitely are. Well, let's get out of Dungeons and Dragons and get into our favorite segment, To Catch a Redditor. So this one is about the Omicron variant.
From r/Canada. Stylish Ape writes, man, I hate to sound like one of those boomers who are saying I already had it in the first week it came to Canada, but boy does this line up with what I had a couple of weeks ago. Victorian Mood writes, exactly this. These were all symptoms. I feel so exhausted now, day 7, and heavy lungs. But other than that, the initial symptoms are gone. Runny nose, headache, chills. I'm very glad I'm double vaxxed. My lungs feel gross. Staircase Obsession writes, the back pain is such a weird symptom. And wow, I can't believe triple vaxxed are getting it.
Who would have thought?
Oh, dude, I have the worst back pain. I might have this fucking thing. I literally sit on my spinal cord 12 hours a day.
Now, that sentiment about people going like, oh, I already had it, like that. I'm sure everybody knows one. Everybody knows someone that said that they had coronavirus like before anybody knew it was a thing. They had it in February of last year, and then they always get the newest variant first before anyone else. It's really weird. Well, let's get into what Reddit has to say about Chicago.
From r/conservative, DevGrewWM writes, ah yes, federal police force, so anti-fascist. Lawsgod writes, many Ivy League university-educated wealthy white liberals who don't live within 20 miles of these gang-infested areas thought this was a good idea. Less funding and less police raises crime rates. We need to help the oppressed child molesters and mass-murdering gangs. Throwaway account, Reagan Republican writes, this isn't the consequence, it's the plan. Atomic Fox 84, conservative, writes, hey, I didn't vote for her or that shit. I'm stuck in this city for now. The idiots here won't let us fix it anyway. Boilermaker 36 responds, Northwest Indiana is much cheaper and an easy commute. Atomic Fox 84, conservative, further responds, I'm sure it is. My dad is from NC and he wanted to move back to ... carries on for a while.
You know, if the Republicans weren't so fixated on internet pedophile war, they might actually win an election every once in a while.
I mean, they win elections. They're fine. They might have some points that are a little bit easier to make policy about. And I have no idea what the hell that dude in the middle was talking about, where he's like, yeah, we get there supporting these pedophile gang murderer. What the?
Get over. You're making me side with the pedophiles. You guys are so unlikable. I'm on team pedophile now, because you guys are just obsessed. You guys are obsessed with the pedophiles, and it's just as fucking creepy as the actual pedophile, though. Go outside, fucking talk to a female every once in a while. Stop trying to be the fucking Punisher, dude. You're not. You're just some neckbeard on Reddit. Go live your life.
And it's funny because the guy was like these Ivy League educated elites got funding to the police. No, they didn't. They proposed it, but it never happened. Fucking dumbass. Let's see what Reddit has to say about missing Afghan girls.
From r/Gabby Petito. Sweet Benane writes, this is so sad. I live in an apartment complex and I have a neighbor who lets her 3-year-old daughter play outside by herself all the time. There are groups of kids aged 3 to 8 who play outside together or alone without adult supervision, and I always worry that something like this could happen to one of them. My daughter's name responds, maybe worth calling your apartment complex about it. Jeff Neruda writes, please bear in mind that there are Afghan refugees and cultural differences could be at play.
What a fucking snitch that lady is.
Can you believe that shit? Kids are playing outside. Better call the manager.
Officer, help. There's kids playing outside and they're smiling. You gotta get over here quick.
They're riding bikes and looking at their phones, and I heard that one of them even has CBD. God,
the kids playing with other crazy kids. The kids playing with other kids. Why would they want to play with other kids, Adam? They're probably pedophiles. I need to tweet about it for the next 24 hours so I can stop it and save the children.
Well, let's see what Reddit has to say about Dungeons and Dragons.
From r/D&D, Mightier Jake writes, I'm especially confused about this approach for beholders and mind flayers. A second look at the lore and the role-playing advice for orcs and drow, and I understand, but mind flayers and beholders are aberrations, the stuff of nightmares, literal monsters in the very definition of the word. Was anyone asking for mind flayers and beholders to have their role-playing advice more sympathetic or nuanced? I don't think so. Drat Wraith writes, as a beholder, I find it very offensive to suggest that there are other beholders equal to my splendor. Redditor Shembe writes, this relies on the assumption that all content edited was because it was problematic in the colloquial sense. That's not why most editing happens.
In the colloquial sense.
Yeah, I don't know what any of this means.
Well,
I
so
can't really.
same sort of shit where people are just confused. They're like, this doesn't help anything. This doesn't do anything. It didn't change a damn thing. So why? Like, yeah, just why? Who knows? But anyways, you got anything you want to plug there, CJ?
If you want to stop pedophiles from raping children, you can follow me on Twitter at CrippledJesus. And you can also donate to our Patreon, where we just did an episode with Carl from Morelli's podcast.
Yeah, whoarethese.com for everything you need for Who Are These podcasts. Also, check out our audio editors podcast, RIMS.
And I want you to know, I want you guys to know, if you don't subscribe to our Patreon, it's probably because you're a pedophile.
Or an ableist.
So if you want to be cool and not molest children, you just give us $5 a month and you'll get a bonus episode, and we're creeping up on a $200 goal. So you'll very soon get 2 bonus episodes a month.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And also check out our friends at NFHC Podcast. Fantastic podcast, fantastically produced, grossly underrated. And really, that's all I got for y'all this week. See ya.
Stay horny, everybody.